सेमिनार आयोजन किया गया सूर्य नमस्कार के ऊपर, जिसको लेने के लिए रिसोर्स पर्सन पोलैंड से आए हैं, डॉक्टर क्रिस्टोफर जी। तो यह सेमिनार बहुत अच्छा होने वाला है, आप इसको अवश्य सुनिए, लाइव जुड़िए इसमें।
everyone. We have dignitaries. I would introduce later, but starting with the traditions, as we always comment, as far as our regular So following the part of our very own heritage and traditions, I would like to request our principal ma'am, Professor Smita Saxena ma'am, to welcome our guest of honor and dignitaries for the event today with us. We have a very wonderful person. Just now we are getting some insight through himself only in person. Dr. Krzysztof Stec is with us. Please give a big round of applause, everybody. And I would like Professor Smita Saxena ma'am to welcome our very guest. Welcome. So there is a change, my bad. So first, as following the traditions, and we always used to follow that tradition, and with us, the guest are there, and I would request all the dignitaries at the dais to please come forward and lighten up with the goddess of wisdom and knowledge, Ma Saraswati.
Window peak. इसमें बहुत करना खोलना पड़ेगा सर खोलना
Thank you, sir. Today, we are not just welcoming a guest, we are welcoming an idea that connects ancient wisdom with modern science. In a time where fitness is often reduced to trends and health is seen only through tens of appearances, there are a few individuals who go deeper, who ask, what truly makes the human body and mind perform at their best? One such individual is with us today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Krzysztof Stec, Assistant Professor at Jan Duzo University, Poland. Dr. Stec is a researcher in the field of physical education, sports science, and human physiology. Over the years, he has contributed extensively to understanding how the human body responds to exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle practices. With over 30 plus research publications, global academic recognitions. His work reflects a deep commitment to evidence-based knowledge and practical applications. Sir's unique contribution, what truly sets Dr. Stec apart is not just what he studies, but how he approaches it. While many researchers focus only on modern techniques, Dr. Stec has explored the scientific foundations of traditional practices, especially Surya Namaskar and yoga. Though I just heard from him during our brief conversation, he was also somebody coming from a technology background. He spent a good time in California working with big companies at the Silicons. He has examined how these practices influences physical strength and endurances, mental focus, psychological balance, metabolism, fasting, and nutritional adaptation. By doing so, he builds a bridge between ancient disciplines and contemporary science, making them relevant for today's generations. So, Sir is here, and that is exactly why his presence today is so meaningful. Our students are growing up in a fast-paced world where distractions are many, pressure is high, and clarity is often missing. Through his work and today's seminar, Dr. Stec brings a powerful perspective that true performance is not just about external success, but about mastering one's body, mind, and discipline. His insight will definitely help us rethink how we approach fitness, focus, and personal growth. Today's session is not just a seminar to all the students and teachers. It is an opportunity to learn from someone who has dedicated his life to understanding human potential at its core. So let us welcome our researcher and educator and a global voice in sports science. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Krzysztof Stec. And to do away with the honor, I would request our beloved principal ma'am, Professor Smita Saxena ma'am, please hand over a token of appreciation by offering a flower pot and shawl to respected Dr. Krzysztof Stec. With us, we also have a special guest, Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary sir, DLED, PhD, MPhil, and whatnot. I was just going through his entire profile. He's also a black belt diploma in judo. Credentials to add, he is a national awardee in the NCT Best Teacher Educator 2019, IIT National Award, Chanakya Award for Best Teacher Educator 2025. Sir's present designation and responsibility currently he is occupied as Professor in Physical Education, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, Dean Students Welfare, Head School of Studies in Law, Joint Proctor, Public Relation Officer, Head School of Studies in Physical Education, a visiting professor in Jan Lugos University, Holland, visiting professor with Czech University of Applied Science, Germany, also a convener, coordinator, and member, coordinator as MA Yoga Program, convener for Yoga and Meditation Club, convener Literary Aptitude Club, member IQAC, member Sports Committee. Sir's past experience is a former Dean Faculty of Physical Education, former Head School of Studies in Physical Education, former Chairman in Central Board of Studies, former Chairman in Board of Studies, former lecturer at LNUPE Gwalior, former principal at Sardar Patel University, former assistant professor, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, UP, former associate NCC officer and TP commander. As far as qualification, I can go long and long and long. BP, MP, MPhil, PhD, PG Diploma in Yoga and Meditation. So the list is long, sir. Rajesh Chaudhary, sir. So I would like to request Dr. Major Singh, sir, to please extend the gratitude with a flower pot and a shawl to Dr. Rajesh Chaudhary. Now, moving forward, I would like to request and call upon at the podium Professor Smita Saxena ma'am to give away the welcome note and welcome our guests and students for this very wonderful program.
Good morning, everyone here. आज का दिन it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Krzysztof Stec and Professor Rajesh Chaudhary sir and you all to this special occasion. We are honored to have such distinguished guests with us today. Your presence truly makes this event more meaningful. I hope this lecture will be informative, engaging and enjoyable for everyone. सर पोलैंड से आए हैं, थोड़ा सा हिंदी में नहीं बोलेंगे, इंग्लिश में बताएंगे, लेकिन मुझे फिर भी लगता है कि खेल की कोई भाषा अपनी नहीं है, वो आप सब समझ लेंगे। और सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि जो हमारे आज के जो गेस्ट हैं, सूर्य नमस्कार पे एक अच्छा हमको लग रहा सुनने में। मैं सर को बोली, मैंने कहा कि एक व्यक्ति जो बाहर से हैं, फॉरेन से हैं और हमारे देश की संस्कृति या कल्चर से जुड़े हुए हैं, this is very great honor for us sir. Thank you so much. Dr. Rajesh Chaudhary sir के लिए स्पेशली थैंक्स। सर ने हमें आज ये मौका दिया, बहुत हमको स्पेशल फील कराया आज सर ने। मुझे लग रहा है कि वास्तव में सर जो आए हैं रविशंकर यूनिवर्सिटी में कुछ कार्यक्रम में आए थे और सर ने कहा कि हम लोग भी एक चाहे तो लेक्चर रख सकते हैं। तो दिस इज ट्रूली ग्रेट ऑनर फॉर अस सर। थैंक यू सो मच एंड I welcome you all once again and I hope you will enjoy this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Those were noble words and definitely हमारा कल्चर है और हम जिनके द्वारा इसको सुनेंगे आज, जो हमारे एंशिएंट प्रैक्टिस और मेडिटेशन की जो क्रिया है, जो यहाँ से जिनका जन्म हुआ है, उनके बारे में सर के माध्यम से भी सुनेंगे। उससे पहले एक स्पेशल जो हमारे बीच में गेस्ट हैं डॉक्टर राजेश चौधरी सर, मैं उनसे निवेदन करूंगा, सर प्लीज कम फॉरवर्ड एंड विद गाइडिंग वर्ड्स प्लीज एड्रेस।
Honorable Dr. Krzysztof Stec, an eminent personality from the field of physiological, sports sciences and yogic sciences, and rendering his services in the giant University of Poland. Madam Principal, faculty members and dear students, I will not take much time. I would like to share a shlok from Isha Upanishad. Netasya rogo na jara na mrityu praptasya yogavinena shariram. Those who attain their body perfected through the fire of yoga does not have illness, death or disease. So we can say that Dr. Krzysztof Stec perfected his body through the fire of yoga. He is an example, he is a true example. You will be surprised after hearing that he is 20 years older than me. 20 साल मुझसे बड़े हैं वो, 20 साल उम्र अधिक है उनकी. So you can assume how he perfected his body through the fire of yoga. So only one point I would like to clear. We should not link with yoga with any religion. He proves by the help of his scientific studies published in the top index journals of the world, in the top journals, indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, PubMed, Dimension, Lens. He published scientific literature and he has also written several books. And out of all books, two are main. Dynamic Surya Namaskar, on the title Dynamic Surya Namaskar, he has written a book. Another is recently, last month, one book was published, Shat Karmas, शुद्धि क्रिया जो आप पढ़ते हैं, षट कर्मास. तो कितनी अच्छी बात है कि ओरिजिन हमारा है, लेकिन उसका प्रस्तुतिकरण इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं बाहर के लोग. सो सर, on behalf of this college also, I express my sincere thanks to you. He was in India, so I requested our vice chancellor, sir, we should take advantage of him. Our vice chancellor agreed, yes, you can call him, you can invite him. So we invited him, he accepted our invitation, and we will take your services in future too, on online mode also, or on offline mode also. And I express my sincere thanks to Madam Principal and Dr. Major for accepting my request to conduct this session in this college. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raju Chaudhary, sir. Truly said. Just a brief 10 minutes of meeting, and sir has made some very insightful inputs, and we were all very much connected, in fact, when we were sitting at the principal office along with ma'am and Major sir, Raju sir. As far as Raju sir mentioned services, definitely sir, I'm going to cover a podcast, once we are through with this entire thing. So I would request, to spare some 10 to 15 minutes for us. So I'm taking this opportunity to ask you for this very thing. And also, now, for the moment, we are waiting. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. And also, with all humility and with all respect, I would like to call upon stage Dr. Krzysztof Stec to come and address.
इसको लगाना कहाँ है? चलो में
Insert the slide for this.
Might be better.
Might.
Yes.
Thank you.
Maybe you take this water.
With the running of the slide, if you
I prefer to do it myself, if I may. All right, so I hope you will understand my English, as I know that people speak various accents, and sometimes you do understand, sometimes not. I'll try to speak a little bit slower. I thought that I would give you a little bit background about myself, a little bit deeper, because it's relevant. It is relevant why I am here in front of you. You know, maybe I don't look that old, but I am sort of old when I look at my calendar. You know, it looks, I never thought that I would be that old. My perspective on life was always some people older than me, not myself, but now it's different. So, you know, I have basically two lives. One was technical. I was working at Silicon Valley with very top world famous companies. So I know from the programmer level that I was trained by a company all the way up to some management positions. Now I'm trying to see where is the page down here on this computer. Oh, this one. Most of you probably never heard the name Poland. It's a small country by your standards, but it is the size of Maharashtra state, almost to the point. Maharashtra is 322,000 square kilometers, and Poland is 312,000 square kilometers. This is the main building of my university. It is not the biggest university by any means, but it is the central government university, which has some status. The main building here, and here is Poland, our capital, Warsaw, where I live. And here, this university is in this city. We call it Częstochowa. Up here is the Baltic Sea. Here is Russia, Ukraine, where the war is going on, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Germany. History of Poland is very complicated. For 123 years, we were not on European maps. We gained back our independence in 1917-18 after the First World War. In the past history, if you like, if you're a student of history, it's very interesting. Poland was very large, more than twice as big, from Baltic Sea to Black Sea, where Ukraine right now and the war is going on and all of that. And my family comes from Kshatriya, part of family, believe it or not, but 7 generations back, my ancestor, he wrote Polish national anthem. Actually, yes, it was a general and another general, so that's the reason I'm saying I'm from Kshatriya. We always had to fight for our freedom. Unfortunate location between Russia, huge country, very imperialistic country, and Germany. So we remember Germans and Russians very differently than the rest of the world. We only got suffering from those people. During Second World, you know, our population is less than 40 million. And during Second World War, Germans, not Nazis, Germans, killed 1/10 of our population. Professor
Rajiv Chaudhry, I took him to the concentration camp, and these so supposedly very intelligent people, you can see how systematically, very scientifically murdered Polish people. So that is a different aspect of Germany that you never get to hear now. Different aspect of Russia that you will never hear about. Actually, Stalin, who was the leader of Russia, he killed more people than Hitler. I don't know if you know that. I don't know how much history you study, but in my country, knowing history is very important. It's a matter of survival, basically. I don't know how much you can see, but this is in brief introduction. Whatever I have done, you will see maybe on a different slide here, my formal higher education. You can see I have been educated in Poland, in India twice. Actually, my master degree is from BHU. That's how I know Professor Rajiv Chaudhry. And I was also educated in very good universities in America. I lived there for over 20 years. And finally, my doctoral thesis were accepted at very famous University of Physical Education. Now it is called Józef Piłsudski University of Physical Education. Very distinguished university of physical education in Europe or in the world. The main alley at the university, you would walk maybe 60, maybe more world champions, Olympic champions, fantastic accomplishments, but that's a different topic. So this is our book together. The first one, basically, it's very much scientific. And it's unfortunately very expensive. I don't know why. This is another one. It's a Polish version of the book, which recently was published by Kaivalya Dama in Polish. I thought that about Shat Karma's Polish population should learn. And since I teach at Collegium Medicum, this is a Latin word for science, health sciences, I thought that the physiotherapists in Poland should learn the techniques used by yogis, and they have been very effective. I practiced these techniques on myself, and if possible, they should adopt it there. So it's a very big novelty, maybe not so much novelty in this country, though I don't know too many even yoga schools that they would use Shat Karmas nowadays. I mean, Suryaneti or Jalaneti, they do, but there are other, that not everybody wants to practice these days. Now, these are my Surya Namaskar books. The first one, it's a very good yoga school, universities, Vyasa Yoga University. Actually, their equipment, scientific equipment is of highest caliber. They brought it all from America. And once I asked how much money you spent for your laboratory equipment, it was over $2 million. So you can imagine, they can do any kind of research there, actually. Recently, half a year ago, we done a research on a guy, a world record holder in Surya Namaskar. Guess how many he was able to do? People complain 5 or 12, I'm painful, I can't do anymore. Does he complain? Well, 20,000 in 36 hours, 21 minutes. What about that? You should have perhaps competitions in your college. See, it's just an amazing practice. So the first one was book, Dynamic Surya Namaskar with Vyasa. Later on, improved, enlarged edition, Surya Namaskar by Motilal Banarsi Das. It's a very respectable publishing house in India. International versions of my book, you see Italian, Italiano, yes, French, and Polish. It had to be in Polish. Now, Marathi version is completed. I'm hoping that someone will pick up on Hindi version. Someone promised me, and they're too busy, so it's not happening yet. But also Hungarian version may come up. German version is in the workings. It's quite a good book, I will tell you. On one practice, 320 pages, and more is here, you know, of that. It's a tremendous science, art and science, actually. Here are some very strong publications, those who publish. Anyone knows that impact factor point 4.6 is a very good one. And the Web of Science is a very good one. So I wanted to establish this practice in scientific circles worldwide, okay? Another paper also, here you see the authors. Now, one little story, because just talking pure science is boring maybe. So one little story for you. Now for you, world yoga, it's known from crib. You hear about this in newspapers, in TV, everybody's doing something with yoga. Now imagine reality in a communist Poland in the 60s. Poland was actually not a free country at that time. Supposedly we gained our freedom in 1945 when the war has ended, but in reality we are enslaved by Russians. Totally, totally. We could not travel, you could not speak freely, and two philosophies were out there in the open. Marxism and Leninism and communism or socialism, and another one was church, Catholic Church. They could not quash the church in Poland because it was too strong, too much. So these two, and I'm, 15-year-old, I wanted you to see very old monastery here, Tyniec Monastery near Kraków, or the ancient capital of Poland. It is about 1,000-year-old, imagine. It's quite a history, even for India, 1,000-year-old, right? So here are the monks, like swamis, monks, fathers and brothers. Fathers mean the priests which can conduct mass. And here with the crosses, you see them. And this is my uncle. He was one of them in 1968. And we were 5 boys, teenage boys, 15, 16, 17. My brother was there and 3 other boys. And he was sort of, because he was young, about 30 at that time, he was taking care of us. But this is a monastery where you meditate, contemplate, pray, so it's very quiet. And now young boys at that age, they like to make noise, play games and all. And he was concerned that we don't have enough exercise. But obviously, we're not in a very playful mood at that age. But he was concerned, so he says, look, in my small room, like a cave, sort of decorated, I do that quietly. Some kind of gymnastics, he called it. And also I practice some kind of deep breathing techniques. And he said that due to these techniques, he was able to chant and sing Gregorian songs. You see, Gregorian songs are similar to Om. They have the structure, that monastery, the buildings where they pray and chant, it is structured, built in such a way that it resonates, the sound. So when you have like 30 men singing something, it really resonates. And the words will be coming out with some meaning, but the most important is that undertone, which is Om. Exactly like here, science in this country. So he said that due to breathing techniques, he trained his body to sing beautifully. And he was the #1 voice. He would start all the prayers and everything. So he gave this introduction and hoping that we would practice it because it was quiet, so we wouldn't make noise. And that the this element of movement, of exercising would be also for health reasons given to us. And then at the end, he said word yoga. At that age, 15, we learn a lot of words, right? Hundreds, thousands of words. But you don't normally pay attention. They're sort of going subconscious. Okay, I know the meaning. It's okay. It's in my mind for the future to use. But imagine this word yoga stuck to my mind. Why did it stuck to my mind? I had a feeling that something woke up in me and awakened like ancient memories in me. And to add more to it, power from heaven, and the skies were just like there. Blue sky, we have some clouds in Poland. It came down, entered through the skull of my head, along the spine, to the base of my spine. It was totally new experience to me. Totally, completely. So I remember that until today, quite vividly, quite clearly, because from that moment on, it was 1968, mid-August, when I had that experience and everything changed. I was in a technical high school and I lost the interest for those studies. Immediately I started reading. The first year, I believe I read about 100 books on yoga. And it was very difficult to find these books. So my life started moving very, very differently. And here you have the first yogis about which I read in Poland. Can you believe it? Sri Ramana Maharshi, I don't know how many of you know, is one of the greatest of 20th century. Another one, Krishnamurti, do you know his lectures? Amazing lectures. You can study English. For you who are visiting Oxford, listen to his lectures. Most amazing. I remember the first book translated into Polish, Towards Freedom. Towards freedom. What kind of freedom? In Poland, we prize freedom very highly, but that was inner freedom, right? So, and actually later on in India, I met Krishnamurti 3 times. Twice in Mumbai, he was giving sessions, and once in America, in California, in the valley of Ojai Valley, very spiritual place in America, near Los Angeles. So these two, and then after I came to India in 75 in August, I met great Advaita Vedantan. You can study his famous book, I Am That. Fantastic discovery, great story to speak more about, but we don't have time for it. Then I ran into Shakti Master Swami Muktananda. I spent with him next 5 years until he died in 1982, in October 2nd, 1982. I was in that ashram scene, practicing. Then this one from Kerala, Hugging Mother, she also knows me personally, my whole family. And I went to her ashram there and in America my background. So you understand, because someone who delivers a message, especially controversial message, and I hope that my message will be controversial. I'm going to different places and it's supposed to be revolutionary. It will not go the mainstream. I hope that the message, information I give you will shatter you from within, will create revolution within, all right? Otherwise, what's the point? So I have material here, for really a workshop. Several days of sitting 8 hours per day. But I will try to cut it down, because what time we have? How much time? I think we have half an hour maybe left. It's very, very little. I just want to give you a glimpse. It will be lots of details, but try to look at the big picture, which can influence your life, and you can dig yourself more along these lines. So I decided the slide, which was the very last, summing up my presentation, I decided to put it up front. Why? Because I thought that I never get to the last slide. Always is too long. So I said, all right, then I'll just start, because we need to have the summary of the whole idea. So here, this is my definition of the optimal peak performance. Think what it is for you, regardless what you do in life, whether you are a sportsman, a professor, I don't know, a housewife, IT person, anywhere, whatever you do, the idea is that you should do it at the optimal peak performance level. And how can you prepare yourself in a very effective way to be able to do? And what does it mean? So, unexpected total rejuvenation. Most of our societies are sick nowadays. You talk to people, this civilization disease and all other kind of problems, health problems. All-encompassing feeling of unusual lightness and fullness of health. Health does not mean that there is no disease. It's much more than that. Read World Health Organization definition to understand. Experience of overall contentment. Even if your body is, but if you are in depression, you are not healthy. Contentment, bliss and perfection. When I understand bliss as coming to the level of ecstasy, can you, I don't know, can you imagine what does mean ecstasy to you? Some people like to practice, excuse me, I will be open, sex. They do a lot of sex because they are looking for that bliss, which they connect pleasure mixed up with bliss, actually. So, but there is a level of ecstasy you can come, bring your body, your psyche and everything to the point where you are almost continuously in that amazing state. Saints are in that bliss and perfection, and a feeling of unusual vitality and energy. You have so much energy, you wake up in the morning, 4:35, I don't know, and you go whole day full speed, and you go to bed not being tired. You don't have to sleep at home, you know, at midday or, you know, afternoon, and you go up to 10 or even 10:30, and you are waking up next morning fresh and ready to go. Do you have that kind of energy? If you don't, there is a sign that you perhaps need to do. It is possible. That's what I'm trying to say. It is possible. So I propose the 3 basic ingredients. And my lecture basically is divided into these 3 levels. Now, because you're physical education students, mostly, I think, then you would naturally want to focus on some kind of exercise. Well, I propose, and I have lots of arguments, why Surya Namaskar is at the top. At the very top. We can discuss, and it will be a few hours perhaps, but I will show you some data, scientific data, objective data. Also, please do understand, my approach to science is that I'm trying first to experience something before recommending. I try to see inner experience, and that gives me guidance when objectively I can dig. And whether we have equipment, machines, which can catch those very subtle states, you know, of consciousness, is very difficult to measure competently, but something is possible. Something is possible to do. Look, that is 20%. The other one is ultimate diet. You want to call it super diet. And most people associate health with a good diet. That is good. That's proper. But what we take it as this good diet is a question. You go to any bookstore in Poland, at least, probably India too, there will be 30, 40 titles Everybody is saying my diet is better. No, yours is not, mine is better, and all of that. And we get all confused. Hopefully you get a good education here in diets and nutrition, and you will be more knowledgeable to pick. But still, mostly people have no idea how it should be interpreted and what to look for. 40%. And then completely forgotten part, Ashtanga Kriyas. Kriyas means purification, cleansing processes. And it is not Shatkarmas. Shatkarmas is only a part, a technology, certain concrete techniques which you can use, but you must have much broader picture. In my new book, I have last chapter just indicating those Ashtanga 8 steps, how they should go. Also, perhaps now, because our diet is so wrong, even though we think we are eating well, not at all. And you will see the reasons. So these 3 elements. So now I will be moving much faster because I have 120 slides and with no chance that we can do it. But you can see properly. All right, maybe I'll do more in a presentation form, officially open up, like this, bigger letters. Crest jewel of exercises. It's a form of sun worship. People have bhava, the attitude with which you perform whatever activity in life is extremely important, extremely. With Surya Namaskar, it's a secret science from the past. And your feelings toward the sun. Is the sun only the cold star, or it is more? Does it have a spirit, or it does not? That's a question. In India, you give some answers. But in the West, it's a cold star. But if you develop proper attitude in your practice, you'll get so much more. So there are many different styles of Surya Namaskar. I counted 50. Professor Dr. Nagendra said 1650, but I don't know how he can have so many. We will focus on Rishikesh series, North Indian Eastern style, because of the sequence of postures. Here is a sequence of postures, you see. Position 5 is usually in question. Some systems like from Mount near Pune, here they have the Danda position. That's the only difference. But otherwise, the most important that it is symmetrical when you do it in hundreds and numbers. See, I have distinguished 4 levels of practice, and all these details are in my book, very clearly explained. Here we don't have much time to go. But only 4th level, look at the speed. In 5 minutes 40, this is my speed of doing it. Very high intensity. So when I do it for half an hour, I lose 1 kg body mass. From that alone, anybody who studies sports, they know it's the highest world-class level of intensity. They don't practice over 90% of their maximal load capacity, and I do close to 99%. Day after day, you can understand. I mean, my heartbeat used to be, now because of my knee problem, I had to cut it. But it was 40, 44, not restful. You know, the highest top level sportsmen, they have that level. So this is how it goes. We cannot go Surya Virya tradition. I connect this very strongly with Surya Namaskar and Surya Trataka. Here is the ancient science in those triangles. We would have to spend some time to explain, but if you do it with proper bhava, properly, the way how it was done and all, that you do it starting Brahma Muhurta, sun is shining on your body is almost naked, you know, and all of that. You take directly the energy of the sun to your body and especially through your eyes, your pupils. There is Surya Trataka, something like that. See, levels of practice according to Surya Vidya tradition. I have no time to go through that, but I just want to indicate to you that it is possible to bring it to immensely higher level. No other physical exercise goes that way. Now, metabolic equivalent of task, you probably study that here, and that is talking about the intensity of the practice. So as you lie down in Shavasana, relaxation pose, it will be 3.5 mm milliliters per kilogram. If you are writing at the desk, 1.5, walking slowly, 2, walking normal speed, 5 kilometers per hour, 3, mopping or sweeping floors, 3.2, yoga session, asanas, pranayamas, 3.5, we need to move fast, aerobic dancing is 6, bicycling with a speed about 20 kilometers, 6, Surya Namaskar with a jump, it is from BKS Iyengar, 7.4, basketball game, advanced one, look, 8, soccer, 10, dynamic Surya Namaskar, 16, unbeatable. And because of the intensity, you know that you don't have to then exercise for so long. 15, 20 minutes in the morning, adopt it into your morning routine, gives you fantastic health for the rest of the day and your life. Now, some people challenge that way of doing because they say, what kind of yoga it is? Sthira Sukhamasanam. Yoga should be stable and relaxed. And here you are doing with such strength, intensity, aerobic, and all of that. One of the meanings of Hatha, and I cleared that with real expert in Sanskrit and Hatha tradition, one of the meanings is forceful and rigorous. Actually, one of the 17 siddhas mentioned in Hatha Pradipika, the basic Hatha yogic text, is, he lists, Fatmarama lists the names of 17 siddhas. One of them is Kapala Kurantaka, and he's quite recently discovered scriptures and he says you've got to, with intensity, repeat yogic practices with great intensity and number of repetitions counted in thousands. I used to do thousands and I have direct experience of that approach, and I can tell you it really works. So this is some of the hidden meanings of yoga. Here, just one of many research, just to show you. Performance of Surya Namaskar for period 20 minutes at sub-maximal level. Load was very high and unheard of in other forms of physical activity. Why? Because when you put someone on cycloergometer testing or treadmill, and you go and you to that performer and said, you have to do maximal load now. Then it creates, slowly, up to your maximal level. Everybody has different maximal level. So this is red color, somehow colors don't come through. This is the threshold level here. Everybody, so it was done on 15 participants, 15, so it's average. Aerobic threshold is here. Here is Surya Namaskar performance. Actually, person was hooked up to the machine, and everything was measured, and here was on cycloergometer maximal load. So look, there is a statistical difference between threshold and Surya Namaskar, and between maximal load and threshold. But there is no statistical difference between these two. From statistical point of view, it means that they are equivalent. So, but maximal load, if it's truly maximal, you will be able to do for 3 minutes. You have to do 3 minutes for testing, and then you collapse. Basically, people come and protect that person that they don't fall. It's so much effort. And dynamic Surya Namaskar, you do that for 20 minutes. Little bit less, but so much longer time. And anyway, parameters measured later on me, it was proof to that. Now, quickly look and read, because I have to go very fast now. Effect of dynamic Surya Namaskar on differential chest circumference. And we could analyze each, I will show you about 20 of these diagrams, but we don't have time for that. Just look at this, the improvement after 12 weeks of practice, only 12 weeks of practice. So look at, we'll go quickly now. So it's 65%, 15% on maximal upper limb strength. Then the lower limb strength, 29%. Upper limb strength endurance, look how much, 275. The strength endurance of abdominal muscles, 35%, and 11% on the back muscles improvement. Then flexibility improvement, 78%. Physical efficiency index, 26%. Then the anaerobic power, 11%. And vital capacity, 25%. So it's the end of it. Now it is dynamic Surya Namaskar books that I use. So here the practices of yoga, what they do, how they change. Again, this is a diagram which you can, with one eye look, see how many areas are changed positively or negatively. We would need to spend a little bit longer time. For example, fitness, flexibility is going up. Strength going up, coordination, balance up, whatever error, it shows up or down. You see self-regulation, self-awareness, spirituality changes, and overall global human functionality, how everything changes. All right, let's move on to the next section. This is forgotten research, main research done by Nobel Prize winner Alexis Carrel. And look, a very important phrase used by midstream scientists when they don't like something. Okay, when they don't like, you are not in the mainstream, then they will use this expression, held controversial positions. This is red light when you read on various scientists, and you will see many absolutely best researchers, and when the mainstream of science doesn't like what they have to say, they will say controversial positions. I could quote you a number of those. And you, at that point, I would advise you to do your private investigative study, whether you agree with it or you don't. About foods, it's like that. It's so many of them. The most important experiment was that the chicken heart tissue was immortal. He picked up chicken because it is an easily available species. The lifespan is 6 to 7 years. The heart of that species beats very fast, even in relaxation situation, not some emergency situation. 160 to 200 beats per minute. So it's very hard work for that heart of a chicken. Okay, and he maintained the full health of the tissue in the laboratory conditions for 35 years. It went so long, he did not expect it, that he died 2 years before the experiment was completed. Can you believe it? And yet, this research completely forgotten. And I can tell you a number of research like that. So, this is a proof that if we would eat ideal diet, if we would remove the debris, the metabolites from our body at the ideal moment and sufficiently well, if all systems work perfectly, from biological point of view, it looks like we can live forever. And it was, as you know, dream of the humanity for who knows how long time. Even this Kaya Kalpa from Ayurveda or yoga also had this principle there. All right, so this is it. And now, arithmetic of vitality, we can look at the human body as a biological engine. Equation is pretty simple. I assume everybody would like to have as much energy, as much vitality as possible. Vita in Latin word means life. Vita, that's the reason I'm using it. It's like prana, life force. Vita, it's Latin word. So vitality, right? And you need to supply energy with best food. So that's the reason we have a chapter on ultimate or superfoods, whatever you want to call it, but minus obstructions. And the West does not even think about it. Yoga thinks about it, and Ayurveda thinks about it. Pancha karma, we know all of that in this tradition. And in yoga, we have shat karmas. All right. So you can see, you can increase this arrow going up either by providing better quality food or more good food, or by decreasing obstructions, isn't it? It's a simple equation. It's simple. Let's talk about obstructions. Here's a quick definition. Encumbrances, foreign matter, mucus, metabolites, toxemias, drugs used in the past, all of that is stored in our body, most likely in the fat tissue, as least destructive for our body. So let's say you would decide to go on fasting for 2 weeks and you will start losing your fat. All of a sudden you will start feeling very sick, very poisoned-like. I said, what's going on? I'm not eating anything and I feel like poisoned. I have high fever. What's going on? Well, you have to be aware that the storage in your fat tissue is being dissolved and removed from your body. But when it goes into bloodstream, it raises the temperature like in a good oven. You burn dirty things in the oven, right? And it goes with the smoke. So this is the basic idea here. And now I would like you to go back about 5-6 centuries back and look at Hatha Yogic scriptures. See the wisdom of our great seers from the past. Let's take a look at Hatha Pradipika, the 3rd chapter, 8th sutra. The 2nd chapter, I will remind, if some of you don't know that, I will remind that the 2nd chapter talks about asanas, the body posture. The 3rd talks about pranayama. In the very beginning, it talks what I call about pre-pranayama. It is Nadi Shuddhi. Nadi Shuddhi. So the 7 stotras are on Nadi Shuddhi, how to do it, intertrainingly and all of that. But then Fatmarama sort of recalls, but look, there are people who have excess of fat or phlegm, too much kapha. They have excess of it. So in the case of those people, it's not proper to do pranayama. Not proper. You first have to do cleansing, shat karmas. And he gives 8 techniques. One of them is Ambasti, Nadi Shuddhi, Trataka. I don't have time now to go through all of them. My book is describing that quite well. But this is the principle, the idea. The book was written about between 14th and 15th century. So something has happened. At that time, they didn't have modified foods, processed foods, chemical foods. What I mean by that, the chemical fertilizers and pesticides, none of that was there. And yet there was a problem. He noticed that. So he's a very practical man. Fatmarama was a great rishi. He's telling some disciples they have to do that. Not all, some. 14th to 15th century. Then now comes 17th century, and Garanda Samhita is being written. Look at that. The first chapter, 9th sutra, the 7, 8 in the conditioning of the body are Shodhana. So you start yogic, hatha yogic practice with purification. And then you read in Granda Samhita, you have 25, 6 groups, but 25 different various procedures which are listed as Shodhana or the Shatkarmas. 17th century, look what happened about 2.5, 3 centuries past between these two books were written. Something has worsened in Indian society, that more purification and everybody needed to be cleansed to start yogic practices, to approach even asana. Look at the sequence he is doing. You don't do asanas before Shatkarmas. And then the 18th century comes, and a great scripture, Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, only 2 copies in Varanasi. It is the first yogic encyclopedia, more than 1,000 pages, 55 chapters, so many sutras. And look, I just selected a few for you. Practice of Ashtanga Yoga. Why Ashtanga Yoga concept is very important from Patanjali. Ashtanga Yoga, he says, is an exercise in the futility without the purification of impurity. So you can do forever yoga. If it is not purified, your body, not count on any progress. It's like being stupid. These are great yoga masters. He was actually practitioner of yoga and a great pandit, very highly respected in Varanasi. Excuse me. It does not bring about success, even though practice for a long time, to the one who is internally and externally replete with toxins. Can you see the importance of that? Progressively, something in Indian society was getting worse and worse. Foods were not getting that good. They would create a lot of obstructions, and there was a need of removing that. And now we have 21st century. You think situation is better? It's progressively worse. Look at that. And few other, just emphasizing, just as in all limbs of the body, head is of primary importance. Similarly, among all the yoga practice, Nadi Shuddhi assumes significance in the beginning. Nadi Shuddhi is not a specific name of the breathing practice. This is also a general term referring to all nadis in the body being purified. Unless and until this hatanga is practiced intensely, yoga practice of the practitioner is futile. And what do people do? As you go to ashrams and all these places, nobody wants to remember that. I'll move very quickly now. Yogic systems, even physical yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Saptanga yoga, Sadanga yoga, Chaturanga yoga, different masters created different systems, basically. And now let's look at modern diet from the old perspective of the yogi. Let's see what we do with our modern diet. Processed food, big name. Processed, thermally treated foods. Don't we eat everything that's about it's cooked? But it kills the properties, living life properties, prana properties of the food. Rudolf Virchow, 1897, very famous physiologist from Germany. He could not understand. He was researching people. After eating meal, he found out that there is what he called pathological leukocytosis. What is that? It means leukocytosis, the terminology says, that for some reason, your body is generating or sending someplace a lot of white blood corpuscles, which are supposed to handle the poison or the bacteria or pathogens or whatever. So it is a dangerous situation for the body. Body has its own defenses, immunological system, and it sends the army, so to say, to defend the body, right? And he could not understand why the hell eating food would cause that response. Because eating is good for the body. It's not bad for the body. So what happens? It is illogical. Like in all good, best high-class laboratories in the world, they find out some new type of behavior, new discovery. So they sent to friendly laboratories, and this experiment was sent to 30 around the world. Can you please confirm that you are getting the same? Can you please give us explanation, your knowledge of physiology? Can you explain why we have this pathological reaction of the body? Pathological or digestive leukocytosis. They could not understand it. No explanation came. So they left it. And then Paul Kolchakov, 1930, from very famous labs, came along, and he was doing some experiments, and part of that experiment was also researching what is the reaction of the body after eating food. So he expected very well-known reaction, pathological leukocytosis, and he wasn't getting. What am I doing wrong? So you redo it and redo it, and still the same response. And slowly they started analyzing, and they found out what is the problem. Because in Switzerland, people happen to eat for breakfast, before the research, raw food. But the other people were eating cooked food. You understand? And they found it. So then it's a lot of follow-up. We don't have time to go with that. But the conclusion was that when we eat, whatever we eat in our daily intake, minimum 51% should be raw. Okay? For your health. Now, the next, so the thermally treatment, we think it is good because maybe food is impure, so you cook it, but it is not all. There are other ways of purifying food. Now, purified meaning remove most valuable parts most of the time. For example, common potatoes. What do you do with potatoes? You peel them, isn't it? Because they were in a dirty ground, maybe some poo, whatever it was. You are doing the worst thing to yourself, because bioflavonoids, the most important component, it is in the skin of the potato or any vegetable, any fruit, and 1.5 millimeter. 95% nutritional value of a potato or any other plant is in the skin, and 1.5 millimeter, 95%. So people are throwing away the most important parts. In Poland, for example, from potatoes, people peel the potatoes, and the peels are going to the pigs. They feed it. I'm saying Polish pigs are very healthy. You can eat them. But the people are not too healthy. You understand my point? So here we have to revisit the way how we treat the food, what we eat, what we know. Now, non-organic fertilizers. People in India forgot what is organic natural fertilizing, and it's all chemical. And what it means chemical? Usually 3 components: potassium, KPN, phosphorus, and nitrogen. And what about the rest of Mendeleev table? All of that should be there. So the plants getting sick because they are not getting their food properly. And because they are not getting their food properly, the food they are giving to us is not complete. You see the chain from the bottom to the top to us. And then we wonder we are so sick. See? GMO agriculture. How many states in India? In the world? America is all GMO. Canada too. I know in India, Tamil Nadu is without GMO. There are very smart people there. And also Sikkim is, no GMO is allowed. With others, it's a big problem. I'll show you some photos. Additives and preservatives, there are 8,000 of them. Because the food is not the way it should be. So it has no flavor. Now, lack of fiber. Is fiber important? People with, oh, this is easily digestible, so I remove the fiber so I can quickly digest it. For example, white Polish rice. Is it good or bad? Terrible. Terrible, the worst thing you can think of. Because vitamin B and all other nutrients. I once went to a fair for rice. 3 30 different types of rice, long, short, this and that. I said, look, I'm looking for one rice. Give me whole grain rice. Whole, not available. Why not? Because nobody will buy it. So you are hurting yourself. The same as with, that there is no real wheat on the market. It's all genetically modified. In Poland it's the same problem. But we fortunately somewhere they saved very ancient type of wheat, and now they are growing crops. It tastes very different. It digests very different. Completely different. Like it's a different kind of grain. So we have to pay attention. Now, overeating. Is there a problem with overeating? When you look around, well, you can ask, why do people overeat? Because their bodies looking for the missing nutrients. They're not getting it, but they cannot get it because the food is faulty. Never got enough components to make healthy food. So our food is unhealthy, sick food from sick plants, and we are also sick. It's food chain. Okay, eating, is it true? Eating too oily, too salty, too spicy, too sweet, too starchy. Why do we like to spice? Again, because carrot that we take, tomato that whatever you eat, it doesn't taste anymore. So we don't want to eat tasteless food. We want nice taste. It's a natural condition of human. But at the same time, you are hurting yourself so much. Once I was in Srinagar, in Kashmir, planning to go to Amarnath, and I could not go because I just completed at that time 42 days of my fasting. I fasted sometime 42 days, 23 days without water. You can read about it. My books, Guinness World Records, 4 times broken. That I am alive. I should not be alive here talking to you, but it's possible. And people went there. I was too weak to go for some reasons. And so I tried to be friends with the local people, started to talk. And they said, okay, come, I'll cook something for you and for me. But we have a couple from Maharashtra. And you will see, all food components will be the same. But then you see how much spicing I'm using for them and for us. You see, 10 times more. And you should see a reaction of those Maharashtra people. Oh, they were so delighted you cooked for us the best food ever. It was so good. They were used to it. But for me, the food was also very good, but 10 times less. You understand? So, food items also are not properly combined. Those people who eat meat, especially. For example, very popular McDonald's hamburger, right? Meat and carbohydrates, right? And some fats. So, what kind of environment your stomach needs to properly digest meat, and what kind of environment is needed to properly digest carbohydrates? Do you have that knowledge? We have to move so fast here. So, very opposite. One is acidic, another one is alkalic. How you cannot at the same time properly digest one and the other. So, and the result is that neither this one is digested, neither meat is properly digested, nor the carbohydrates. The bun that you are eating or whatever else, it's carbohydrate. It's not properly digested and it moves on. It's very bad for the body. It starts accumulating. That becomes poison, toxic. Not enough mastication. Again, Arturi Virtanen, very great Nobel Prize winner, he proved that we need to munch in ancient books of yoga 32 times munching of each and every morsel. Because we pre-digest here in your mouth. And what we do now, it's cooked and we swallow. It's all going to stop. All wrong. Lack of biologically active water. Another big problem now. I think I'm already, now here is a few words about these famous people. You can read quickly, Virchow, Kolchakov, Vittori, highest caliber scientists, and yet the discoveries are forgotten conveniently because it is not mainstream, because someone could lose money. You understand? It's all money driven economy that we have. All right, 7 levels of the body pollutions. It starts with healthy looks and feeling just being tired. Look at this, just being tired. We have to cut it. But look, at the end of it, 7th level, you're getting cancer. Slowly, slowly, step by step, moving like this. Oh, here, what is it? Anyone has any ideas? I bet with each one of you, just about all, though you're young too, you have that in your stomach. Not stomach, excuse me, a large colon, I have to be precise. And this one especially, these are real species after Basti, after doing, I call it Mahabasti. Mahabasti, we have that in the West, you know. Basti means colon, right? So small species, you see the shape of the colon here, but this one is the worst one. It's the longest, 130 centimeters. It means the full whole length of the colon. It is 30, 40-year-old cook, whatever you want to nicely call it. It is so stinking, it is so poisonous. With every heartbeat, it goes into your bloodstream. It goes first to your liver, and from liver, it is overwhelmed. So the liver will have this effect. You see the stones more and more, and then eventually it goes into your blood, so your kidney will start catching, and after that, disease starts spreading all over the place because the capacity of your metabolic removal, toxin and other debris removal is shut. Please read that. One who does not know food, how can he understand the disease of man? It all comes from food. Ayurveda says 98% of the disease comes from digestive system, from food. And you know what? The Western science, very prestigious in Europe, King's College of Medicine in London, they also did the huge meta-analysis, and they found that over 90% of disease comes from food. And yet, look, they have the scientific data, and nobody is doing anything. Why? Why do you think nobody is doing anything? There must be money. Somewhere must be money that someone makes a lot. Doctors are happy because they have patients. So you have to help your patients, not too much that he gets too healthy, not too little that he doesn't die, because he's your client, right? When the diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When the diet is correct, medicine is not needed. Everything you can do with your food. And this one, Egyptian, 1/4 of what you eat keeps you alive. The other 3/4 keeps your doctor alive. Is that true? What do you think? Is that true in India? And everywhere it is so much true. Oh boy, we have to go. I'm sorry, we have to go. Now here, a quick comparison. Mineral vitamin content. It's a little bit old, but still very actual. See, basic foods that you have here. You go to the market, you can buy all of that. Look, they tested for 80 components, 80 minerals, 80 vitamins, and you can get the full printout, but it will be too much analysis, too much boring. So the most startling ones are pulled out here. See, change between 85 and 96. How much difference? So now, for example, where is the potato? Potato, look, calcium, is it important for humans? It's very important, minus 70%. So look, you eat, let's say, 40 years ago, 2-3 potatoes, you had plenty of calcium. But now you would have to eat 2 or 3 kgs. And how many calories you would get? Of course, so everybody is growing sideways. Because body is looking for this. It must get it in proper proportion. It's not getting it, so it's calling hungry. And you keep eating. But as you eat, you keep calories. Adding beyond any measure. Like that with, look, apples, 80% more, less vitamin C. And like that on and on and on. And now they create some food tables, but they don't pay attention. Where was that food taken? From what field? Was it organically grown, or it is chemical fields? That's almost no nutrition. You understand? And people would say, oh, this natural food, organically grown is, it is so expensive, maybe double, I don't know. But look at this data. All right. So look, Times of India, I found it. Look how much less is. From Times New York 2013. Look, corn. You see the phytochemicals. You see look at the potatoes. Original potatoes, do you know that they came from Anda Mountains in Peru? They came from there. And those potatoes are violet color. They are not white. But when they are colorful, deeper color, the more of the phytochemicals means. Look, it was 171 from original Peruvian at 6,000 meters grown, now to white potatoes at only 103. So it is 171 times less nutritious. Do you understand this? Look at all of it, Sikkim apple. Look at anything here. This is very threatening, and yet our governments don't do anything about it. See, this is how the tomatoes are grown in the winter time. You see, the plant, they don't ever touch soil. They're only grown in a chemical solution. You see that? See, with the grains, it's the same thing, problem. They create now mucus and dumpiness because we don't allow our grain to fully ripen. Technology of, for example, picking up grains in Poland completely changed because now machines go. And when machine goes, it cannot be fully ripened because you lose too much grain, you understand? So it's on and on and on, these kind of things. When you start analyzing, it's quite terrifying. And then you wonder why so much disease is there. And you wonder, oh, you cannot have such fantastic sports results. Well, if you are not eating proper nutrition, then how can you have it? Mucus food Berg table, GMO. Is that good or not? I will just show you because I need to finish. Look, after 3 months of feeding GMO corn, it was famous French scientist Seralini. He ran his experiment for 2 years, not just 3 months. Look what happened. The first one was GMO only. The second one is GMO and that component Roundup. And the last one is only Roundup. Each one causing so much health problems. And then you go to a doctor and you tell, doctor, please help me, help me. If you are not going to change what you eat, your intake, nothing will change. All right, great organic farming, so much you should eat daily. And the micro elements. You see, macro, you should know that. Micro, you should know all these. And fiber and water. But these in yellow are the aspects nobody talks about. You take any kind of dietetic course, they will not talk about bioflavonoids and proper molecular structure of water, biologically active water. That's a science which is in the laboratories. I have some videos taken there, and it is too long to speak now today. 3 steps of incredible health equation. Health is going up. Nutritional density, that is the most important, over caloric density. Now it's all the way upside down. And the science of water, that's another big topic, big subjects. And we have something which is called dead water. That's what mostly we drink. But we should drink live water. Here you have a quick definition of why it's so important. Live water, hydration based to irrigation. Most of us drink water only to irrigate, not to hydrate. It's totally improper, and that should be changed. There's only one filter in India I know which does it. You see the big water clusters, molecules, and beautiful hexagonal shape, which is a must for water. Normally water from a tap, average in Europe, they measured it's only 5%. I presume that here is also similar, but if you buy that proper water filter, it will be upside down, it will be 95%. That's the water we should drink. Comparison of water taken in various parts around the world. London is up upper right corner lower is Paris, and here it's in Japan. Look, there were in Japan nuclear bomb exploding, and in spite of that they still have hexagonal shape because that is spring water, the live water. So the spring water, that's perhaps the reason why yogis live chose always in the higher mountains, have access to good water. They knew that. You know that water has memory, do you know? And you know that our brain is 89% water. So in our head we have water basically. See, beautiful, beautiful hexagonal shapes, depending what kind of resonance music you convey to that. Resonance imagining, oh, we have to, I'm sorry, we have to, oh, here Jiva water devices made in Bangalore, my friend is doing, and this is Aquadin Melusine that you can buy from Oroville. That's the only place where you can buy water filter which not only cleans chemically water, but also biophysics of water. It's completely changed. It means that the original hexagonal structure is recreated, and then you charge it with energy of a mantra, Gayatri mantra, Om mantra, whatever mantra you feel affinity, or in Europe they would have perhaps some classical music or whatever. Oh, this is a modern system, medical system. You understand this? What's happening here? This is the modern medical system. The problem is the leaking. I mean, they left open tap. Water is overflowing, but instead of closing the tap, what are they doing? They're mopping. And you can extrapolate and say, okay, after some time, a mechanical engineer came and will say, I'll build for you a beautiful pump. It will just pump the water out. And after some time, they cannot manage that. They say, IT professional, oh, I'll build a computer for you. I will build software and it will be timing properly, sucking out the water instead of just taking care of the faucet and closing it, shutting it. All right, system of Shat Karma, and we'll close it now because I'm overrun, means to significantly decrease and completely eliminate the obstructions. They gave a definition earlier. It's Ashtanga Kriyas, and this is work-based. I basically developed the system. Russian scientists from Siberia have fantastic experiences there. Gennady Malakhov, Michal Tombak. We have Polish translations, Russian, but I don't know in English any. Then in the West, German, Arnold Ehret, you can read about him through websites, fantastic. Mac Harrison, Mac Gerson, Norman Walker, Paul Brack, Masaru Emoto, so many others. But it is not offline, it's not mainstream. And then the yogic Shatkarmas and Panchakarma from Ayurveda. So 5 main purification processes: energy field purification, colon purification. You've seen the species there, the dark black cobra effect. Body liquids purification, colloidal liquids. The first way how you measure that, you'll start losing flexibility. Young kid, you'll remember your flexibility, and now what is this? So that is the indication that all the cells needs deep, thorough purification, rejuvenation. Liver purification, the sequence how we were getting everything dirty, we just reverse order, okay? Liver, kidney purification, if you get through these 5, you are fantastic shape. People will say that you're younger by 40, 50 years, okay? And then there's a tune-up, parasite and other pathogenic organism removal, alkaline and acid salt removal, and dead and sick cells removal. And each and every step we could discuss. The other thing I need to mention is, here maybe some of you would be interested, therapeutic references in traditional yoga text. You can go, and even yogis give that kind of guidance. Ashtanga Kriyas, the full version, 20 slides, but not here. Now we go fasting, the great science of fasting, short, medium, and long-term fasting. It's separately, my laboratory in Poland does a lot of experiments with that. We have very good publication and classical water fast, urine fast, and dry fasting, and then cascade fasting, all kinds of fasting. It's not just non-eating, it's a lot more to it. 9 processes activated, physiological. You have to stop eating food. It's not like some people are fasting, but in fact they are eating fruit or drinking juice in the morning. No, complete elimination of food for some time. You allow your system, digestive system, to get completely refurbished, renewed completely. 9 processes, and fast breaking is extremely important. So there's a lot of practical experience connected with that, and follow up a regenerative diet. So I think now we will just go. I'll give you maybe this one, because that speaks. Blood picture, what happens to blood? Because blood, either if you have good blood, it's just healthy. If not, you're sick. Look what happens 7 days after fasting. You still see clumping over the erythrocytes. It is called ruralization. You see that clusters of them together. It is only 7 days after. But look what happens after 36 days after fasting. You see, each one of them gets separated. And look, 20 days after fast. Look what happens. All right. Very great people said about fasting great things. Effects of purification. You saw it earlier. And there are amazing results on the body. I could tell you many, many stories. Summary. So I guess I will leave with a summary of this, and this is the end of it. Thank you very much for your patience. We have things. Otherwise, I hope I have planted some ideas in your minds, so you can explore on your own, search literature, and dig in deeply. Yes, thank you. You have a question?
Yes. Can I take the cordless?
What do you want?
Can I take the cordless? You can have his query. I mean, he has some doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir,
Yes, I'm listening.
I want to know that what is the difference between traditional yoga and traditional Surya Namaskar and dynamic Namaskar? What are the difference that make?
Can someone help me to understand what he's saying?
He was asking about the difference between the traditional Surya Namaskar and dynamic Surya Namaskar.
Traditional Surya Namaskar and this. Okay. First of all, I think there's a big difference. Usually there are many different sets of asanas. There's a traditional sequence is 12 of them. We follow, and I propose, the symmetrical system, which is northeastern, which is like taken from Bihar school or Rishikesh, Syria. That's the name. You travel throughout India. I've done some traveling, and each ashram, they like to include some extra position, a little bit change, and they all do very slowly. In one position, you may be maybe half a minute, maybe longer. So you don't have cardiovascular pulmonary effects. They will take for one round only minimum half a minute, maybe 2. Now, I distinguish that as level 1, as you are mastering mechanics of this. Many people don't have flexibility. Some people don't have enough strength. So you go slowly, and in each and every position you maintain 2, 3, 4, 5 breath slowly. But later on, when you mechanically have mastered and you remember the sequence, then you go into the level 2, normal breath, but combination of breathing, inhalation, exhalation. That's very important. And most people practice that way. Sometimes you will breathe faster, sometimes slower, but that combination in and out is always with the body movement. And the intensity increases, that's true, it will be. And you can do that like, for, I don't know, some people do 108. It's some kind of traditional number. I talk about that number in my book. They will go 45 minutes for an hour. That's time consuming. Not everybody has this much time every day. Therefore, for especially younger people, those who want much faster results, I propose the level 4, where, you have 12 positions. Let's talk about the classical. 12 positions means 6 breaths. In, out. In, and the movement going out. 6 breaths. Okay, for 1 round. But in dynamic one, you cut it down. And I call it body starts dancing breath, because the breath is the leading factor. Okay, so it is 3 per round, 2 per round, and then capacity increases. I can do a few with 1 breath per round, but it gets very difficult the more you do, because you are starting suffocating, you see. But even 3 to 2, this is how it changes. In my case, you find that your body is performing to your breath, and the breath dictates it. And doing with that speed, the third factor is most important, that your mind joins the practice. When we do yoga, I don't know how many of you do, but they tell you, relax, you're maintaining some position, and your mind is gone and conversing on some problems. Am I right? It's not joining the practice. Here, due to the intensity of physical practice, what happens? Your mind has no option, because it's too intense. It has to follow. So there's 3 very important components. The body, vyayama, this is vyayama. Breathing, very important. And the focusing of the mind. And the focusing of the mind, it comes to very, very strong. Actually, I call it like a dynamic meditation. Simply because of the intensity of physical movement and breathing is so high that your mind cannot be wandering. And wandering mind, we have research on that, wandering mind is unhappy mind. Remember that. Wandering is unhappy mind. So if you control your mind, is focused, then you come out of it with great happiness. You feel, you try it with that intensity. The whole day, maybe you were tired, maybe you were busy here, so many functions to do. You come home, it's, 6 p.m. and you feel so tired. I said, oh, I have to go and take a nap, maybe 15 minutes nap, and I will be okay, right? That's it. I think all of us have that kind of a feeling. Do it one time or twice, something different. See, learn Surya Namaskar, and you do 20, 30, or 50 Surya Namaskar, and see how you feel. You'll be like newly born. That's my experience. That's the reason my book, I call Surya Namaskar pranic generator. Instead of having less energy, you do few hundred, and I have more energy. It's totally illogical, but that's the experience. See? So, as you do warm-ups for all kinds of other exercises, games, or whatever, instead of running about, I suggest you do Surya Namaskar and see each and every joint will be really exercise. You know what? There are many sportsmen who has done it. For example, one of the absolutely leading basketball player, Karim Jabal. Do you remember the name? Very famous, like not Magic Johnson, but right behind, right? And he retired from sports very late. Do you know that? Very late. And they wondered, how can you manage your professional engagement? You know why they talk like that? Because they talk about big money, tremendous money. So he wanted to work as long as possible and have no competition. And after that, I was doing that. My professor was a very good one, Professor Pilis, in weightlifting when he was young. Now he's 75 or something. 12 years ago, he said, I am to make a very important decision of my life. He had such a terrible problem with his spine that no matter where he was, official meeting or not, he had to accept, it was so painful. He had to lie down immediately on his back, his arms up, his legs up, stay in that position little bit, and after a minute or two, everything would go to normal, and he could get up and be normal. So he consulted. He's a professor of physiology, very respected, very well known. He had friends who were medical doctors. So he went to medical doctors and asked them, professors, what can I do? Because this is unbearable. I am in a very important meeting and I have to lie down on the floor. I look a little crazy. So they thought, and he went to few, because we always get consultations from few. All of them said, look, there's no other option for you. You have to implant the titanic rods along your spine. You lose some flexibility, that's obvious, but it will fix your problem that you are getting old now. And I said to him, look, you can take your surgery always. Try first Surya Namaskar. Try to move your spine. He started doing it every day, not hundreds, but 30, 40. And till today, he's so happy. No problems with his spine. So in my book, I cover fully the area, the medical benefits and all physiology benefits. Yes?
As you talk about the fasting.
Fasting, yeah.
I also do fasting, but not like you are doing fasting for days, and I'm only taking a fast for a day or in a week.
1 day.
Yes.
That's great, because much more important is to fast continuously and regularly, though a longer fast is needed than 1 day to purify at a deeper level.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Yes, so you should do try 7 days, but you have to also be very smart about it, because everybody reacts differently. And you know, in my case, I was doing 30-day fasting, and coming back, it was very simple. I had no problems because you shut all the system. But then I went 42 days. So I thought, I was unaware, nobody would guide me. So I thought, it is just 30 plus 10 or 12, right? Big deal. I have not eaten, a big deal. But it turned out to be immense deal. I wanted to fast more than 40 days because Christ was fasting, Muhammad was fasting, Buddha was fasting, 40 days I'm talking. Seneca, you know, great philosophers of the past. So I felt that must be some secret there. So I found that all my systems completely were shut. I could not restart my eating and absorb it. There was a big problem for me, because nobody was able to advise me. What do? I eat food and it goes through my system, but it doesn't get digested, it doesn't get absorbed, it rots. And the other end, it comes very, very painful because it's rotting, it's not digested. So what I do? Then my master I was with could not advise me because he never went that much. So I went to see my friend Swami in Uttarkashi. And he had Swami Premanandaji from Shivananda Ashram. Maybe a lot of you might have heard. And my friend said, don't worry, he has fasted in all these caves. Now he's 90, but it was, like 12 years ago. All these caves, he's an expert, practical expert. And I came to him, Swami, please, I have this problem, can you help? And he said, no problem, in one day it will be gone. He said, what is this? He said, I have made for you special Shravan Prash. Also desi cow milk. Also my honey from high mountains, my honey, special, different honey. You just mix it, 200 ml, you drink it, and it should be okay next day. And believe it or not, I was very, very weak because already I wasn't eating for, at that time, 9 weeks. 9 weeks. 6 weeks, my proper fast, but after that, I wasn't able to absorb any food. So not eat. So he gave me that little mixture, it was very tasty. And maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, I became aware, like something very subtle switch was turned inside of me. I don't know what. Switched, and I knew everything is going to be perfectly fine. Next day I go for ashram breakfast, everything perfectly, like never a problem. So that's very important when you go longer times, that you have someone who can guide you in the way how you come out of fast. Extremely important, extremely.
So I have a question. So every time I fast, I have a question that what should I eat after doing fast and to break fasting?
Raw, fruit. The first meal, it is raw. I would drink some juice, maybe, I don't know what, some kind of citrus, or you can try watermelon, but don't mix it. You pick one and you stick with that one. Yes, that's one. And only in the evening, it's only 24 hours fasting. Or in the evening you can eat, but not fried. Try not fried. Only boiled or steamed. Yeah, and don't mix too many varieties. It's best to have 1 to maximum 3. That's it. Yeah, coming out is very important. And I encourage all of you. You want to stay young and beautiful, ladies. You spend so much money on cosmetics, right? It's very expensive. Real cosmetology, it's in your gut, in your large intestine. Take care of your large intestine and you will be young forever. Really, seriously. And one more.
You talked about internal and external freedom.
Internal, external, yes.
At the beginning, you talked about internal and external freedom. Could you please differentiate between external and internal freedom?
Oh, freedom. Well, external, internal. External freedom, so, it is usually connected with, I don't know, democratic political freedoms, but that is all guided by inner feeling of freedom. If you are free inside, you will not try to impact anyone else's freedom, isn't that? So much guidance of that external inner freedom comes from within. That's actually whole yoga about. It's about internal freedom. So you need to study yoga. For me, it would be talking about yoga, and for me, the book Towards Freedom by I was showing photo of Krishnamurti, Towards Freedom, the internal freedom. When you really start investigating within, who am I? What am I doing? What is my goal? These kind of questions. But the most basic is, who am I? And really try to search the answer of the question. It's phenomenal results. That was actually, I learned that very simple question from Nisargadatta Maharaj. And he was an educated man, only 7 classes education. And imagine, he was from Shudra. It was, how many? 50 years ago. Imagine in Mumbai, he was just seller of bidi. He was called Bidi Baba, actually. He was selling bidis on the street. Very simple man on one hand. And can you imagine in normal situation that a pandit highly educated pundit and expert in some Indian philosophy would go consult with him, enter his home? Not possible. Completely impossible. And yet, his attainment from inner search, finding the answer to the question, who am I? That's a basis. He got so great, and the whole world in the West speaks about him. Those who are interested in spirituality, and because he was a very simple man, not educated, so he does not complicate the issue with very, smart words. Physiology, psychology, philosophy, none of that. He's 7 great educated person. Very simple conversations with him. That one book, I am that. Volume 1 is enough, but there's also volume 2. And my countrymen translated that because he spoke only Marathi. So they translated that into English. And like that, the whole world has learned about it. I sat in his satsangs and direct experience. As simple as that. If you want, we can complicate for you. But if this is enough, who am I? So that's enough. Thank you. Please come, because.
Thank you for your guidance, sir. As you say, yoga helps in physical and improve concentration. How yoga helps in spirituality? What are the day-to-day other activities what we see in changes in spirituality?
From physicality.
Spirituality. How can we see yoga?
The process of yoga helps him attain the spirituality, basically. We understand that the yoga works for physical activities, mental activities. Now it's very
No, you have a long concept of yoga. Yoga in classical sense, it is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the state of yoga, is the stoppage of the mortification of the mind. And hatha yoga, these physical practices, so many of them, they are only angas or the tools for people who cannot go directly into that state. Because not everybody can sit quietly, clear his mind, ask the question, who am I? And the answer comes. You'll try it and probably will not get it. So there are many stages of preparation, removing the fluctuating mind. And so you may have to start at different levels. Perhaps since you have physical education, you start from the level of your body. But then from body you move into your breath. And from breath, there's a very direct correlation between breath and the mental state. If you have very fast breath, your mental state is probably rushing very, very hard. And these techniques, sometimes people would say are miraculous techniques because you can have amazing impact on physical body through that, because it goes both ways. But definitely through asanas, well, I would say nowadays through practicing shat karmas, purifying, cleansing your body, but cleansing at different levels. You move deeper into more subtle realms. Then you come to pranayama, and then you stabilize your prana. Your mind is stable. And when mind is stable, it's like clouds on the sky. Then you can see the full shining of the sky. And it just appears to you, yes. So this is the approach through the body. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll go later. I better take my phone because I have a tendency of forgetting. My mobile is here. I better take it because I keep forgetting this.
That's not an issue.
Thank you, sir. That was quite an insightful session. We're really honored to have that insight coming from you. The gist of the book is so fantastic. We expect once we read the books, it will more put a lot of enlightenment to all the students who are here participating, and most importantly through their queries. They have connected you very strongly. So there is a bonds up. And on behalf of my entire institutions, that is Mansa Group of Institution, and all the family member of Mansa Parivar, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude. You came all the way from Poland, and for us, place like this is the central part of India, and Bhilai is a small town. Unlike the big metros, still you're visiting, and so with us, Director Sir is also here.
Who is
Sir, Shri Sanjeev Saxena Sir, Director, Mansa Group of
Who is he?
Institution.
He's chairman of
Welcome you, sir.
Madam.
Oh. Oh yeah, please take it.
So, my mother is a good cook, sir. She cooks very well. Now I'll go and tell her, don't peel the potato. Now start cooking with the, without peeling the potato. That was really insightful. We have gone through the entire presentation. You covered almost all the important aspects, starting from Surya Namaskar to telling us the nutritional values, diets, and everything. So we also gone through the new pattern which you amplified a bit by suggesting us to have this dynamic Surya Namaskar. Also, you mentioned about Alex Carey, the chicken tissue in the immortality thing. You mentioned that as well. And all the students, they are really graced with all the inputs. And most importantly, everything is scientific. You have shown some arithmetic thing also, giving us the spiritual thoughts. You told us about the purification thing in very length. You discussed about that thing. So thank you so much on behalf of the entire institution, sir, for gracing this event and for chairing this event with your keynotes. And now I would like to call upon. So I request all the dignitaries, please come forward and have the seat at the center of the dais. Please, sir. Dr. Krzysztof, please give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So at the dais, we have the guest of the honor for the day, Dr. Krzysztof Stec. And then we have Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary, sir, also, who graced the occasion. Thank you so much, sir. Without you, I think this program would have not been possible. You listened and requested sir to come to our place, and this has really been a pleasure for all of us. With us, we also have Principal Ma'am, Professor Smita Saxena Ma'am, and now we have our director, very own beloved director, sir, Shri Sanjeev Saxena, sir, Mansa Group of Institutions. Now, as the formality continues, because we are going to end this session with a vote of thanks. Now, before that, I just wanted to extend a token of appreciation from our side by presenting a certificate and a trophy to sir to mark the moment. And I would request Shri Sanjeev Saxena, sir, to please hand over the trophy, and also Dr. Smita Saxena, ma'am, Rajiv, sir. Christopher. So this is a small token of appreciation, a memory that you can cherish from all the students of the Department of Physical Education. So give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Some memories from our place, sir, from Bhilai. Now, I would also like to welcome, and once again I would like to welcome Sri Dr. Raju Chaudhary sir, and extend our gratitude through a small memento and as a token of appreciation. So now even we want to capture this memory. So I would like our students to please come forward and have a group photo session formally. They will all keep in their status to put, please students, faculties.
करे बना के रखो।
Thank you so much.
These are the wonderful student of ours, sir, from the Department of Physical Education. They are pursuing their first year degree course, Bachelor of Physical Education. Usually their routine time is, they come in the morning 6 and they do their practices till 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And for this occasion, they have specially prepared the timing, they have scheduled themselves. एंकर भी बन गया।
डॉक्टर साहब
आइए ना, इधर बैठे। अरे बैठिए ना, ये अच्छा नहीं लगता। आओ ना
संजू आज
मैडम,
बिल्कुल भेज दे तू आज एग्जाम वहां से चले जाओ कोई भेज दे।
रामू भैया को दे दो ना, रामू भैया को दे दो,
आ जाओ
रामू भैया को दे दो। आ जाओ मैम, आप आ जाओ। हो गया ना, लेके जाओ, लेके जाओ। पॉडकास्ट तैयारी करना, जल्दी से ना वो ओपन करो और